Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 Japanese cruiser Mogami. It has 15 main guns, 8 secondary guns, 50 AA guns, 16 torpedoes, a top speed of 34.5 knots, total health 39,100. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift, and concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower cooldown on damage control. We are on the map Islands of Ice, and we're trying to kill some cruisers and destroyers. We're working on the Arpeggio of Blue Steel missions. I told my friend, hey, I'm working on these missions. Okay. We need to be at least tier 6. Okay. And we have to go after cruisers and destroyers. He's all like, okay. He doesn't get as much time as I do, obviously, to play the game. But he still enjoys it. So we're together, we spawn together, thanks to 0.5.2, and I told him I really like the southeast side of this map. It has islands for cover. Usually there's maximum 3 enemy ships that choose to go this side because for some reason everyone just sails back and forth around their bases. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So I'm trying to look for enemy destroyer, enemy cruiser. I love to ambush the destroyer and take him out. And the Mogami is the best destroyer killer in the game. 2 salvos on average, and you will wipe out every single destroyer. And that's why I chose it. I'm not gonna be nice, okay? I'm gonna pick the strongest ship for the mission, and I'm gonna see how successful I am. Now, the later the night went on, the more cruisers and the more challenging it was to instantly get in a queue. I picked up the Torpedoes, trying to double dip a little. I need credits bad. Oh boy, do I need credits. So we were having success there. We're very close to getting to the aircraft stage on the Congo. We are not as close on the Myoko. But that's alright. We'll get there. We got plenty of time. But early on, we ran into an enemy Otago. And, bonus, we saw one of the 2 aircraft attack paths. He has apparently sent all of his torpedoes, all of his dive bombers down here. This is the Japanese aircraft carrier. And at the time, I didn't understand. I'm a very ignorant aircraft player. I have just not played it since all the changes, blah blah blah. Anyway, I didn't realize that their dive bombing was complete garbage with defensive fire up. I assumed they got a buff just like the Americans. Apparently they didn't, because the times I'm playing the Japanese carrier, because the part 2 is definitely easier with an aircraft carrier. Having to get 150 aircraft kills is a walk in the park with a full fighter build on an aircraft carrier. You can average 20, 30, 40, 50 per game easily. 3 games, that's it. You don't need to be successful. You don't have to have a good impact on your team. You just need to deny the enemy their attack runs. And that's exactly what I would do. Now, for the 300 fires, I would probably pick a ship with a high chance to light the target on fire and a high rate of fire. So, probably a Japanese cruiser. I think that's the best option. And I'm going to consider the Ibuki. The Ibuki has 17% chance to light the target on fire by default. And I'm running a fire build. And my friend, he sneaks in right as I fire at the enemy. We've been doing this all night to each other. I have been far more successful than he has, so I'll let him have it. Now, I was afraid he might die here, but it looks like his propulsion being knocked out saved his life, because it put him in the perfect position to avoid that torpedo. So now he can retreat, use his heals because the Otago is just that cool, and live to fight another day. The Torpedoes, however, doesn't live to fight another day. How do you get hit by torpedo systems that a friendly has spotted for you? You have to commit to avoiding them. You can't just ignore it. So, of course he dies, because he doesn't maneuver at all. And I was going to try and look to help out the friendly destroyer with the enemy destroyer. Yeah, I was going to help out. Right, Notser, you were just going to help him. You weren't going to help yourself. Yeah, I was helping myself too. But hey, I'm the Mogami. I'm already built to destroy them. And this is what I see a lot right now. Aircraft carriers are picking on destroyers. I've never seen this before. They go hunting for the destroyer. The second they find the destroyer, they are on him with their torpedo and dive bombers. It's amazing. And I was trying to avoid these torpedoes. I wasn't going to get by on the other side of the turret, so I just used them as a sort of a pick, a rub. And I'm able to get away from him and avoid the torpedoes, thankfully. Friendly's like, kill the enemy destroyer, kill the enemy destroyer. The torpedo bombers went for the turrets. That's fine. And the turret is pretty aware. And he tries to avoid. Now the enemy is pushing on the northern side of the map. So there's a large hole in the center to the north side. I figure I can go there. I can help my team defend. And of course we're going to engage the Fubuki whenever he's moving. Didn't look like he wanted to maneuver, but we miss. So yeah. It could be better, but at least we are playing the objective. And notice, someone is on our capture point. We have a friendly defending it, but there's someone on the capture point, so it must be one of the 3 destroyers. We saw the Fubuki. This must be one of the other 2. And I'm trying to tell my team, hey, just spot him out. Give me a scout plane. Use one of those fighter groups that you're using to defend, and just park it over the destroyer. We can see the destroyer, and we can take him out. It's very easy. And yes, you can probably tell I was a little frustrated, but the Fubuki is headed here. 10 kilometers, easy shot. We lead a target. We fire all guns because they're all pointed port anyway. And we're able to do 3,700. Again, I am saying, please use the aircraft to scout. Thankfully, the destroyer that was on the point is leaving the point. He did send out torpedoes, and we have to maneuver for that. We have plenty of warning, so it shouldn't be an issue. I considered getting a salvo off on the Otago. Anytime you can maximize your damage potential, you should try. Unless, of course, you're trying to avoid taking damage. But at this point, I'm not the center of the enemy's attention. I'm just having to deal with torpedoes. And torpedoes. And torpedoes. That's pretty much how this game's going to work out. But I can handle it. And one of those destroyers is still on B. And we still have not gotten that scout plane. It looks like, finally, the aircraft carrier sends them somewhere in the center of the map. And then, of course, the enemy destroyer is inside smoke. So we can't find him to kill him anyway. But at least it makes him use a cooldown that he could save for a more dangerous moment. And he's 12 kilometers out. It's not an easy shot. I just want to make sure I'll clear the torpedo system. It would be really embarrassing to hit a torpedo that's near its max range. It's just one of those things that should never happen, no matter what ship you're in. And thankfully, this isn't a blooper reel, of course. I wouldn't... Well, I might. But I'm not going to talk about avoiding torpedoes and good tactics and then run right into one. Enemy Otago is headed in. Definitely a destroyer close by. We're trying to engage the Otago as best as we can. More torpedoes are coming in the water. Looks like they're headed towards my ship. Looks like someone scouted the enemy destroyer. He was right up against that island. So I would love to do damage to him. But he pops a smoke, of course. We don't get a fire. We incapacitate something. Whatever. I don't really feel like incapacitation matters all that much unless it's on a destroyer or it's on a target where you're actively trying to defeat him before he kills you. We land 2K on this North Carolina. He's not rocking any camo. Most likely it's probably not fully upgraded. Is it? No, it is definitely not fully upgraded. It looks like he's got the A-hole. And it looks like a friendly's gonna blow up that North Carolina and his A-hole. I've got to avoid board torpedoes, of course, and look, we're having great success, right? Right, guys? We can do this. Just keep it up. Trying to take out enemy destroyers anywhere, we still have an enemy destroyer sitting on B. We still have not had consistent air cover to spot the destroyer. It's a fundamental aspect of aircraft carriers that just isn't taught. I don't see enough of it, and it certainly makes it harder to deal with the enemy when you are not trying to assist your team in winning the game. So the Kagero, the Atago, and whatever destroyer is on B are all on the western side. Finally, we get an aircraft close by for half a second. This guy's been parked up against the ice for how long? My friendly is like, I got a lot of torpedoes. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of torpedoes in the water. It seems like every single destroyer and every single Japanese cruiser is sending their torpedoes out on cooldown. So I could engage this enemy destroyer. And that's exactly what I end up doing. Don't know why I waited so long. Maybe I was thinking about other things, but I should have engaged this guy. He was probably exactly like that prior to me noticing him. And anytime you see a target run into something, you need to take him out. Enemy Atago, showing a lot of his side. We switch to AP. Friendly Kagero is about to run into us, so we're going to hopefully avoid him. We do 4,600. We incapacitate. And here come some torpedoes, along with other torpedoes. And then on top of that, there are going to be more torpedoes. So we do the best we can to move away. We're turning, come on. Oh, we just barely clear that one torpedo. They're sort of in a crisscross pattern, so they're gonna come together at a point. So I decide, full stop, allow them to come together. Oh, look how close. Oh, so close. No torpedo makes contact with our ship. Oh, I would love for there to be some sort of medal that could be awarded based on the game detecting that there was like 15 torpedoes within 500 meters of the ship. It would just be fun to have something pop up to say, wow, this player was able to dodge torpedoes in that game. People could talk about it. Maybe people would look it up in a replay. It's just something fun that would be nice to have tracked. I have had moments like that probably 10, 15 times. I've shared quite a few of them. Pensacola comes to mind, where I'm dodging torpedoes, and every single time it is as rewarding as getting a massive citadel on an enemy ship. Now we are, of course, engaging the Atago, and there's more torpedoes in the water. Who would have thought that? We end the Atago's reign of terror. Was it really a reign of terror, Notser? Yes. Every single torpedo launching destroyer and cruiser deserves to die. And somehow he has more smoke. Are you kidding me? This is like the third smoke this guy has used in that spot. He has been so annoying. More torpedoes. The Atago set him out before he died. Of course, in the order of importance, we need to torpedo and then actually take care of the ship. And one of the destroyers sends more, so I'm going to do a little right to left. Oh yeah. This is just a clinic on how to avoid torpedoes. One of the enemy destroyers leaves the safety of smoke. We get a moderate amount of damage. Should do a lot more, though, now that we have all guns ready to fire. And another destroyer, 3 destroyers. So I, of course, switch to the lowest health one, I can end this guy in one salvo, and that's exactly what I try and do. Boom! Enemy destroyer defeated. More torpedoes incoming, but he's missing us, so we don't have to worry. I choose to reset up an attack on the enemy Kagero because he's low health. We lead him slightly, and it looks like we're gonna be successful. Yeah! Take out the enemy destroyer. Another kill. Now there's only one more, and he's on the other side of the island. Of course, the friendly gets annihilated by the destroyer torpedoes. It's unfortunate. I've seen at least 2 players just run into torpedoes that were spotted for them. Am I crazy? They can see every torpedo I see spotted, correct? I think they can, and I'm trying to not hit this torpedo. That would be very embarrassing. I'm also trying to avoid not dying to the Torpedoes, who landed a huge shot on me. Honestly, that shot probably took me out of the game. I just couldn't be as aggressive as I wanted to be. I have to deal with the enemy destroyer, which conveniently he shows back up. There's an enemy destroyer right there. More torpedoes, of course. But those are not going to hit us, obviously. He did widespread, and it was really far away, so there's huge gaps, huge gaps. And I think the Torpedoes just need to do a quick check. Now the Torpedoes did not kill me, and he didn't have any more shells in the air. And we're trying to lead him. He's 12 kilometers out, and of course, disappears right as we try to engage him. Friendly's still alive, but we are well behind the enemy. There's no chance. We would have to get all of them dead in order to have a chance to win the game. We're down by 280 points, and 5 times 60 is 300. Which is just about as many points as we need to win the game. Otherwise, it is a big fat L. And Friendly's looking for that enemy destroyer. I would love to destroy the enemy destroyer. Friendly fighter is trying to look for the enemy destroyer. Although he's not actively looking for the enemy destroyer, he's kind of given up. But I don't blame him. It gets real annoying trying to look for them as they maneuver. We're just waiting on the enemy aircraft to come in. He's probably fairly close at this point. Remember, it's 18 minutes into the game. All 4 aircraft carriers are still up. There's no kills on my team and only 1 on the enemy team. So that just tells you how the game has been going. You know, if you pull it, you got to be able to dish it out. And I think this is going to be the first or the second kill for the enemy team. My friend, he gets his steering knocked out, apparently, that's what he said on comms, by the dive bomber. So he slams into the island, and he is followed up by the enemy torpedo bombers. Just unfortunate. Remember that one game with the Atago on Land of Fire, where my steering was knocked out, and I slammed, what was it? Was it north? I think it happened on both of those maps, quite honestly. It sucks to have your steering, and to slam into an island, and not have any way to deal with it. And at this point, I'm going, oh crap. I'm pretty low. He could have success, and he misses. Thankfully, he misses. Enemy torpedo bombers incoming. This is going to be a little bit more dangerous. We're going to keep our stern facing the enemy torpedo bombers. We're going to make it the most challenging drop of his life. There are 50 seconds in the game. We've already killed one of his aircraft, and I can smell it. Where are you, Fubuki? I know you're there. I know what he's going to do. He's going to ambush me when I least expect it. He's waiting for either the torpedo bombers or the game. Oh, there he is. There he is. You see, he fired. We, of course, we track him as quickly as we can. Here come torpedoes. He hit a widespread. Not going to work out. We do 3K. We knock out his propulsion. He uses damage control. And he's already dead. See you later, Fubuki. Have a nice trip. See you next game. We did our best. And our best was not good enough. So, of course, I was frustrated. But I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed all the torpedo dodging. Felt like dodgeball. 4 kills. Couple base defenses. 104 rounds hit the target, 11 aircraft shot down. We earned 1,563 base XP, almost as much as the winning side's highest XP earner. And they get a bonus for when they win the game, so we would have way ahead of everyone. But that's okay. You know what? It's okay. I enjoyed the game. I earned probably 60,000 points of damage. I hope you enjoyed the game as well. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time. And good luck dodging those torpedoes out there.